Hello, friends from across the nation and around the world. I'm Martin, and you are listening to Dad's Bedtime Stories. Tonight is a very special episode, because tonight marks episode 1 in a brand new series. A series about dragon knights. Now, in the last little while, I've found that a lot of listeners love dragons, and I've certainly done some dragon-related things out there. But in the comments on Spotify, I believe talking to Mango Moon, as they go by on Spotify anyways, and in YouTube, talking to August, I believe, we kind of discussed maybe starting a dragon riding series of our own. Now, originally I was thinking that was maybe something I would do in the near future, but sometimes when an idea gets into my head, I have trouble not thinking of it and, turning it into a full-out story series. So that's exactly what we're going to do tonight. Before we get started on that, I do want to give one very special shout-out. A shout-out to Veronica Bainan. Now, the reason I'm shouting her out is because she is the one who designed the Dad's Bedtime Stories logo. Those of you who have been listening for a while might have noticed that it changed slightly in the last little while, and that's because Veronica came to me and said, "Listen, Martin, I don't like that your logo is made with AI, and I believe I can do a better job." And then she did just that and created the new logo for us. So, if you ever are in need of some artistic help, she is a great person to go to. Oh, and also, if you haven't checked out the episode of 5 Random Questions, where yours truly, Martin, is interviewed by Danny Brown, you should do that too. Not really a bedtime thing, but next time you're in the car. You can learn more about some of my favorite hobbies, my general dislike for board games, and a whole bunch of other things that we discussed in that episode. Now it's that time again. Time to get as comfy as you can in that bed, close your eyes, and imagine yourself doing what the kid in the story does. Now, friends, this story takes place in a different part of the storyverse. A world that was once ruled by dragons and humans combined. You see, in this particular place, dragons and humans would link up with each other, creating new dragon knights. Knights that shared the elemental powers of the dragon that they linked to. There are water dragons, earth dragons, air dragons, fire dragons, and nature dragons, of course. But to rule them all, there are also a very small group of elemental dragons. Dragons who combine the power of all elements into one. For a long time, those who were chosen by the dragons to be dragon knights, along with the dragons themselves, ruled the world benevolently, keeping it safe from harm and allowing the people to live their best lives. It was a time of peace and prosperity, filled with magic and wonder. But that all ended when the Dragon King arrived, or, at the time, the Dragon Thief, as he was known. The Dragon Thief was a wizard who learned a very ancient and very forbidden spell. One that would take over a dragon's mind and force them to serve a human, or whatever else the spell was cast on. Somehow, the Dragon Thief was able to use this spell to take over the mind of one of the most powerful dragons alive, an elemental dragon. After getting rid of his original dragon rider, of course. From there, he used the power of this elemental dragon to take over more of the world, to take over other dragons' minds, and to force those who lived in this place to serve him, and only him. The other dragon riders resisted for a time, but eventually they were overwhelmed. The important bit here is that they didn't go out without a fight, and they didn't go out without a bit of a plan. You see, those dragon riders took it upon themselves to hide one egg of every type throughout the world. An earth egg, a fire egg, a water egg, an air egg, a nature egg, and of course, one elemental egg. And to this day, those eggs remain in hiding, waiting to find their perfect match. And that, my friends, is where you come in. Now, I don't know exactly who you are on Earth, but in this world, you are the child of a simple family of farmers. Born far away from the Dragon King's castle, you've lived in relative safety your entire life. You help on the farm, play with your friends, and most importantly, you enjoy exploring the forest around the farm. And that's exactly where you are today. You walk down a long forest path, one that you've walked many times before, until you come across a small camp that you've created over the years. A place where you have a shelter made of sticks and trees, a little fire pit, and, of course, a log to sit on. You gather some firewood, twigs and branches, and, well, anything dry you can find on the forest floor, and you pile it inside a circle of rocks on the ground. You reach into your pocket and pull out a piece of flint and a large steel striker. You begin to strike the flint with the steel, creating little sparks until one of them takes. You blow on the spark until it turns into a flame, and then you begin to feed the fire, bit by bit, using small twigs at first, and working your way up to branches. It doesn't take very long before you have a pretty solid fire going. You sit and stare at the fire, listening to the sound of the forest, until something starts to pull at your chest. A feeling you've never felt before, but it definitely feels like an invisible rope or an invisible force of some kind is pulling you towards it. You don't have a sense that there's any danger. In fact, the force feels like a good thing to follow. Following it actually kind of gives you a smile on your face. And that is exactly what you decide to do. You follow the pull a small way away from your little campsite and over to a large rock you've seen many times before. The pull leads you to the base of the large rock, where there's a couple small bushes growing. You kneel down and see that there's actually some sort of opening behind the bushes. You push them apart, and sure enough, there's a little tunnel with stone steps leading to it. You run back to your campsite quickly and grab a large branch. You light the end of it on fire and head back towards the little tunnel. Carefully, with the light of your little makeshift torch, you make your way down the stairs and down a large stone hallway until you walk into a larger room. Not a super large room, but certainly tall enough to stand up in. And in the center of that room is a large egg of some kind. An egg made of all sorts of different colors. Black, green, blue, gray, and red. It looks almost like it's made of stained glass. You bend down and reach your hand out to touch the stone or whatever it is, and it feels soft and smooth against your hand. But as you touch it, it starts to glow slightly, and to your surprise, your chest starts to glow slightly as well. The glow of both the egg and yourself starts to sort of pulse and move at the same rhythm. Then the large egg cracks. First a small crack that moves all the way down the thing. Before long, more cracks appear, and the egg explodes, breaking into tiny little pieces and leaving behind what you're pretty sure is a dragonling. A multicolored dragonling. Now, you'd seen dragons before in books, but you've certainly never seen a real one, just crude pictures drawn by other people. "Hi there," the dragon says, staring at you. Hi, you respond. "I believe you are my match," the dragon says. What do you mean your match?" you ask. "You are my dragon knight. I can tell. Your chest glows as mine does." You look down at your chest and, sure enough, it's glowing. A glow that slowly changes colors from blue to red to green to gray, mimicking a glow coming from the young dragonling's chest. "Your knight?" you ask. "Yes, my knight. We are meant to link together. Are you ready to link?" the dragon asks. What exactly is linking?" you ask back. Linking is when a dragon and their knight link together, combining their energies. Together, we will grow strong. You will be able to share my energy and my power. Your life will be extended to match the length of a dragon life. And of course you will have cool dragon armor you can call on. Cool dragon? How do you know this? Aren't you just like a baby dragon? You ask. That is a good question, the dragon says. Well, you see, we dragons do not work the same way as you humans. When a dragon creates a dragon egg, it puts its essence into the egg, as well as some of its memories. Important things to know, important experiences to remember. I do not yet remember them all, but one day I believe I will. But I do remember the basics. So, would you like to link with me? I guess so, you respond. Perfect. Hold tight, the dragon says. And then, a beam of light shoots out of the dragon's chest and connects with your own. You feel a strange tingling sensation pass through your arms and legs, as well as a sensation of power. You suddenly feel more energetic, and you feel something else as well, almost like an additional sense that you can't quite put your fingers on yet. When the beam of light stops, you find that you can now feel the dragon, almost like it's a part of you. It may be separate, but you're clearly connected. You can tell where it is, what it's doing, how it's feeling. Perfect. We are now connected. Cool. Well, what should I call you anyways, you ask? That is a good question. I believe you will call me Ellie. It is short for elemental. I'm not sure why I like that word, but I do like it. Okay, Ellie. Well, I guess we're linked, but what's next? What is next is to eat and to grow, Ellie says. Let us go find some food. Ellie jumps into the air and uses her wings to fly up and land on your shoulder. Do you have any food? Maybe. I think I have some stuff at the camp. Let's go. You make your way out of the strange hidden chamber, down the stone hallway, and up the stone steps once again. You head back to your little camp area with your makeshift shelter and your fire now sort of dying out. You open up the door to your little makeshift shelter and pull out a bag that your parents packed a bunch of supplies for you in. I have some beef jerky, you say, holding out a stick of meat. Ellie takes a couple sniffs, but looks horrified by it. Oh, that does not seem like food, Ellie says. But I do smell lots of food. Ellie jumps off of your shoulder and begins sniffing around the camp area. She walks up to a rock that's just sort of sitting on the ground and says, "What is this? This seems tasty." That's a rock. I don't think you're supposed to eat rocks. But Ellie doesn't listen to you. She just opens her mouth as wide as she can and bites the rock. Her mouth begins to glow, and the rock suddenly looks as though it turns to some kind of liquid energy, and then flows through all of Ellie's veins. There's a little flash of light, and you swear for a second that Ellie grew just a tiny bit. "Are you okay?" you ask. "You just ate a rock." We dragons like rocks. Or some dragons do. I do. Ellie continues making her way around the campsite, picking up little rocks and throwing them into her mouth. "This is very tasty." Each time she does, the rocks seem to kind of dissolve into energy and absorb into her body. When all of the obvious rocks in the area have been, Swallowed, she moves towards the campfire pit. "Oh, these rocks look very tasty," she says. Don't eat those. I need that to stop the fire from spreading." Instead of looking disappointed, Ellie begins to sniff at the fire. "Ooh, this seems tasty too," Ellie says. She then opens her mouth and begins taking in a large breath, breathing in the fire itself. A stream of fire makes its way into Ellie's mouth, and again, her mouth begins to glow before the glow shoots into the rest of her body. You're now certain that she's larger than she was before. And you're also certain that she's just eaten the entire fire. Every piece of wood, even the ones that weren't yet burnt, are now burnt completely down to ashes, leaving nothing left. Ellie burps. "That was good." Now again, you've heard a little bit about dragons, stories told around campfires, books you've read, but in all of them, you've never heard of a dragon that can eat multiple elements. Unless... Ellie, are you by any chance an elemental dragon? You ask. Yes. There is something familiar about that word. Elemental. Yes, that is a good word, a tasty word. Just like this branch looks tasty, Ellie says, looking at some of the firewood that you've left beside the fire. Ellie bites down on the end of the branch and continues to chomp until the branch is completely gone. Again, she glows for a second and then grows ever so slightly. So, if you're an elemental dragon, that means you have all of the elemental powers? You ask. That is a good question. All powers? Yes, but no. You see, we dragons must eat our element. That element becomes a part of us and allows us the power over that element. So far, I have only eaten rock, wood, and fire, 3 of the elements. To have power over all, I must eat all. Oh, well, isn't air kind of everywhere? You ask. Is it? Ellie says, taking a whiff of the air around you. Yes, I believe you are right. Ellie then takes in a gigantic breath, a breath so large that it causes the wind to begin to shoot by you rapidly, directly into her mouth. Her mouth again glows and sends energy throughout her body, causing her to grow a tiny bit more, and let out a gigantic burp. Air is very good. Rocks are very good. Trees are very good. And fire was very good too. Do you have more fire? Ellie asks. Not right now. I can make some more though if you need some. What about water? You say. There's a stream just over there. Water? Yum. Ellie runs toward the stream. Then she jumps down inside it and just kind of opens her mouth, allowing the water to flow in. She continues to glow and grows a little bit more. Water is good too. All of these things are good. And for the rest of the afternoon, Ellie just continues to eat. Rocks, dirt, water, air, branches. The only thing she doesn't have any more of is fire. By the time she's done, she's actually bigger than you are. She looks more like a teenage dragon than a dragonling at this point. That was very good, but I believe I am full. What else should we do? Ellie asks. I have no idea, you respond. I've never seen or met a dragonling before, let alone linked with one. Oh, yes, that's right. I should teach you, Ellie says. Teach me what exactly, you ask? I must teach you the ways of being a dragon knight. First, you must learn to use the elements as well. But before we can start that, I believe you need something else. Ellie's chest begins to glow, and in response, yours begins to glow as well. A stream of bright blue energy starts to flow out of your chest. It circles around your arms and legs, and then it starts to take shape. It starts to take the shape of, dark black armor with all sorts of different colors sort of streaked through it. Bits of blue, red, gray, and green, making you look, kind of like Ellie. That is your dragon armor. You can summon it when wanted, and it will summon itself when needed. You look down at your arms and legs covered in this brand new armor, and you look down at your side, which has a sword. You reach over with your right hand and pull the sword out. It's made of the same material as your armor. Very good. You should also have a shield, Ellie says. You look around, but you don't actually see one. Where? You ask. It is built in, I believe. Try holding up your left arm and squeezing your fist. You do just that, and suddenly a large shield pops out. When you release your grip, it disappears again. You continue to play with this feature by flexing and unflexing your muscles. You find that you can actually make the shield larger or smaller, depending on how much you tense. Cool. What else can I do? You ask. Well, you should be able to use the elements as well. Eventually, anyways. I am still young. I must grow more, and you must find the power for yourself. You must learn to connect with the earth, learn to connect with the fire, with the air, with the water, and with the living things around you. You hear a bell in the distance, and your parents yelling out. You look up at the sky and see that the sun is beginning to set. It must be bedtime, you say to Ellie. I have to get back. You stay here, maybe? You say. No, Ellie says. I stay with you. But you're a dragon. I can't just bring you home and tell my parents I have a dragon. That is an excellent point. Well, if your parents do not see a dragon, they cannot know that you have one. So, you're just gonna hide? Dragons do not need to hide. Dragons can blend in with their elements. Earth dragons can look like earth. Nature dragons can look like nature. Water dragons like water, fire like fire, and air like air. I am an elemental dragon, and elemental dragons can look like all things. Ellie explains, and then, slowly, she starts to disappear. Ellie, where did you go? You ask. I'm right here, Ellie says. I am just blending in with the surroundings. You can turn invisible? I didn't know dragons could do that. I just explained. I am an elemental dragon. I can turn into all elements, allowing me to mimic any surrounding I am in. Your parents will not know I am there. I will be quiet. Oh, okay then, you respond. Let's get going. One thing first, Ellie says. You may want to remove your armor if you do not want them to know you are a dragon rider. You look down again at your arms and legs covered in shiny black, colorful metallic armor. Right. How do I do that? You ask. You just think about it, and it will happen. And with a simple thought, your armor disappears. Slowly, you begin to walk back down the path towards your house. And as you do, you hear something in the bushes beside you. Your invisible dragon. You make it to your house and open up the door, and you feel something brush past you and move inside. You move to the kitchen, grab your meal that your parents left there for you, say goodnight, and head upstairs to bed. Anywhere you go, you can sense the dragon following closely behind, but clearly no one else can see her. When you get to your bedroom and close the door, Ellie appears once again. You see? I was not seen. Did Ellie do a good job? Yeah, Ellie, you did a great job. But now it's time to sleep. And my parents might check on me at night, so can you stay invisible while sleeping? You ask. Of course I can, Ellie says. And you can too. Eventually, anyways. Ellie curls up on the ground and then disappears once again. You crawl into your own bed, pull the covers up to your chin, and close your eyes. You can't believe what just happened. And, well, maybe you won't even believe it until you wake up in the morning and see if the dragon's still actually there. You close your heavy eyes and you begin to focus on your breath. With each breath, you sink down a little bit deeper into your mattress, and slowly you find yourself drifting off to thoughts of new dreams and new adventures to come. Good night, everyone.